Assalamu alaikum. My name is Talha Arshad. I am student of OSH International Medical University. Today we talk about thrombosis and embolism. First of all, we talk about thrombosis. It is a pathological process in which there is formation of intravascular blood clot in the blood vessels, and location of the thrombus formation is in arteries and veins, and most common location is legs, in the veins of legs below the knee. And then we talk about the differentiation of thrombus or clot in living and non-living. In a living clot, it does not clot attached to the blood vessels, and in a non-living clot is not attached to the blood vessel wall. And in a living there is a line of zone, which is a lining of fibers and platelets separated by red blood cells. And in a non-living there is no characteristic of line of zone. And in a living there is a clot which is very hard and which is not rubbery. And in a non-living there is a clot which is very soft and rubbery. Then we talk about biopsy, which is if we take a sample of living organism, then it is called biopsy. And if we take a sample of non-living organism, then it is called autopsy. Then we talk about Virchow's triad, which explain formation of clot or thrombus. It is three. There is a blood flow disruption, subendothelial damage, and hypercoagulability. Then blood flow disruption is normally blood flow is a streamline or laminar, all the material passing in the same straight line in a very good excellent sequence of the blood flow. If the blood flow is turbulent, then there is all material is disrupted in other direction. This cause myocardial infarction, aneurysm, abnormal dilatation of the arteries, and immobilization stasis of the blood. Then we talk about subendothelial damage. Normally it protect blood vessels, release prostaglandin I2 and prostaglandin I2 and nitroxide for vasodilation, and also inhibit the platelet aggregation. And we also release heparin-like molecules which inhibit coagulation and increase anticoagulation factor 3. And then there are also tissue plasminogen activator which convert plasminogen into plasmin. Then we talk about causes of damage of subendothelial. This is a main cause is due to atherosclerosis, increased cholesterol in the blood vessels, and vasculitis, inflammation of the blood vessels. And third we talk about increased homocysteine level, also caused damage to the blood vessel because homocysteine converted to methionine with the help of vitamin B12 and folic acid. If vitamin B12 and folic acid is not or in deficiency, cause increase homocysteine, and also homocysteine converted into cystathionase with the enzyme called cystathione beta synthase. If this enzyme is not present, then homocysteine also increase and cause subendothelial damage. Then we talk about hypercoagulability, increase coagulation factor and decrease anticoagulation factor, in which we talk about protein C and S, which is increase the coagulation factor. If there is deficiency of protein C and S, then there is no coagulation factors. It also decreases factor 5 and 8. If a protein C and S is deficient, then there is no negative feedback of a coagulation factor. In this we also talk about warfarin. Warfarin also decreases protein C and S. If a patient have protein C and acid deficiency, then we not give him warfarin. Then we talk about factor 5 laden, which is a mutation of factor 5 and factor 5. Then this also decreases protein C and S. Then we talk about prothrombin 2021-0. It is a mutation called point mutation, in which it produces prothrombin and thrombin. Then we talk about embolism. Embolism is also a formation of a blood clot that is occluding the blood vessel. It is of two types, thromboembolism and atherosclerotic embolism. Thromboembolism is a very great amount, 95%, and atherosclerosis is a 5%. Then we talk about fat embolism, in which fracture of long bones, thus bone marrow and fat comes in the blood vessels. Soft tissue trauma, also dyspnea and petechia. Then we talk about gas embolism, in which we have decomposition sickness, rapid decrease in pressure of water and air in surrounding. This is seen in scuba divers and deep sea divers. In this we also talk about laparoscopic surgery. This also causes gas embolism and Cation disease. This is multifocal necrotic tissue disease that due to nitrogen struck in the blood vessel walls of the spinal cord and brain. In this bends and chokes, also bends is pain in joints and muscles, and chokes it's a disturbance in respiratory tract and etc. Then we talk about amniotic fluid embolism. In this there is a amniotic fluid is in pregnancy and delivery and labor. This is the most common hypercoagulable state, and hypercoagulable state, in this we have a disseminated intravascular coagulation. Then we talk about pulmonary embolism and systemic embolism. First of all, we talk about systemic embolism. This is a left ventricular heart failure embolism, and the most common occur in the lower limb. And pulmonary embolism is that deep veins thrombosis, popliteal veins, femoral veins, and iliac veins. This is a pulmonary embolism is very silent due to dual blood supply and self-resolving capacity. In this is shortness of breath, dyspnea, hemoptysis, cold. After the cold, we have blood in cold. Then we have a saddle embolism. This causes sudden death, and this occurs due to main trunk pulmonary sickness. And diagnosis of the embolism is due to Doppler ultrasound. In this we detect deep veins thrombosis, and also we have a spiral CT, in which we detect a filling defect, and we have a wedge-shaped infarction of the embolism. This is done. Thank you so much.